So Elizabeth Warren was asked about the time not long ago that she was still claiming that Joe Biden had mental acuity, that the guy was sharp, that was cognitively sound. And it was like until July of last year, 2024. Imagine that. And her body language answering this, well, let's say that it betrayed her spectacularly. And where was that? It was on Talk Easy with Sam Fragoso. I knew 1 full minute of Elizabeth Warren trying to find ways to scream out of the lies she told about Biden being mentally fit to run for re-election. She fails miserably. And let's watch the clip.
Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
You know, the way that she says those words, first, the words that she articulates. I said what I believed to be true. It is an implication that maybe she was misled in some way. Maybe her perception was not the right one. She's not claiming that she was saying what really did happen, that she was not saying the real thing or the real Biden. Maybe she perceived that wrong. I said what I believed to be true. It's a couple layers of reality in which, okay, I just thought it was just my opinion, all right? It's like a way of saying I was wrong without saying I was wrong. And you can see the most important body language cue here is that she had closed her fists. I think that she had closed her fists way before that. But right after the question, you can see that had a lot of more pressure right there. Yeah, it was. She was tense about it. Up until that moment, she was still leaning towards the interviewer, leaning towards Sam in this case. She took just a split second to answer. I think that she's still on her toes. I think that how long was
Last
it?
year.
I said what I believe to be true.
I think that is a nice, split second, half a second, 1/3 of a second is a nice time of reaction for any question. Like she didn't have to think much about that. That is great. But the next question, well, she didn't fare so well.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
It was really funny when he asks, you think he was as sharp as you? Because the way that she is speaking, not gonna lie, she is really sharp for 75 years old. That's nice. Okay, great for her. But the way that she does that, and literally, you're not hearing anything because she does that without making a sound. I had to double check. And no, it's like she laughs. And she's got the ultra sensitive microphone in front of her and you cannot hear anything. So she does it and she makes sure to not utter any sound whatsoever. But she found that laughable. I would say that there's a bit of, let's say, nervousness in there. It's like, okay, he was as sharp as me. That is a nice comparison, okay? You're making kind of comparison. Okay, you said that that's what you perceived, that he was cognitively okay. So you were saying that he was as sharp as you, and that's her reaction. Oh, I don't know what to say. That this is the moment in which she could have doubled down immediately, instantly. But yes, I found no reason to believe otherwise. And no, she essentially was laughing.
I said I had not seen decline.
Notice that she doubles down on a perception thing. I had not seen decline. In all cases, she is kind of saying that she was wrong. Kind of, only kind of, in the sense that, well, that's not what I saw. Right? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I didn't see things the way that they were happening. But that's what I saw. You cannot blame me for looking at things maybe in a biased way or not looking at things. Maybe that was my fault. maybe I spoke things in terms of that perception. Again, these are layers in which people speak, so they can say, well, maybe I was wrong, but I didn't believe that I was wrong at the moment. I spoke what I believed to be true. And then she turns her face away in a very interesting, you're gonna zoom in so you see the way that she is turning away right there. Is like, why does she do that? She's expecting, of course, a reaction from him, from Sam, and it says he has that expression that is, this is worth the ticket price. That expression was the ticket price. Senator, please. Senator, we are grown-ups. We Trump already won. We know what happened. You can come clean right now. This is a chance.
Decline. And I hadn't.
And she hadn't at that point. Oh, this is interesting. She said at that point. So it means that at some point she did see a decline. And we're talking about, you remember that we are talking about July 2024, and the debate was in June 2024. So it means that up until the debate, she is still, and after the debate, that is the most important thing, she still saw Biden mentally fit for running for office a second time. That is impressive. We're going to lie, that is impressive. So she said at that point. So it means that at some point, she couldn't say the same.
I hadn't at that point.
You did not see any decline.
Notice that she says, when she is denying something, I hadn't at that point. That is a negative, but she is nodding. That is a bit of a contradiction.
And I hadn't at that point.
You did not see any decline from 2024 Joe Biden to 2021 Joe Biden?
Great from Fragoso to double down on the question. This is a great way. You don't simply repeat the question. You rephrase the question and ask it a second time.
Not when I said that. You know, the thing is.
Okay, I'm going to say this. She's looking to her creative side. Not when I said that. She should be looking to the other side, but to be fair, she knows that she will be looking away from the cameras because the cameras are on this side and the lighting is on this side. So that might bias her reactions in some way. I'm going to cut her some slack. And this is important because in body language analysis, it's important to take the context. Okay, we look to our left side when we are remembering something and to our right side when we are creating something. But in this case, the setting is asymmetric. Lights, cameras are all the right side, so she might be pressed against looking to her left because that would hide her face from the cameras, which is something that she wouldn't do on purpose. So, I think that's. I'm going to discard which side she was looking just because of that context.
Not when I said that. You know, the thing is, he was sharp. He was on his feet.
He was sharp. He was on his feet. And she makes sure to show her hands in this way, like she has nothing to hide. That is the universal gesture of, I have nothing to hide. And you show your hands. I have no reason to lie to you. I have nothing concealed. This is my actual opinion. And that's the way that she is showing her hands for. That's the universal gesture. Universal gesture. She is looking straight to Fragoso's eyes, and she doubles down. He was sharp.
Was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him. Live event. I had meetings with him.
But then she begins to say some details. I saw him live. I had meetings with him. She knows that she is getting into, let's say, deeper she would have to explain. She's justifying in a way that she will have to explain, okay, it's not like you saw Biden on TV and that's it. No, you saw him live and you saw him personally at meetings. All right. So yeah, she knows that she is kind of entangling herself with those words. She absolutely did not prepare for this question. And that's when you see that her hands, well, her fingers begin to, do this, to entangle with each other. She crosses her fingers, rather defensive gesture. Fragoso,
Senator, on his feet is not praise.
Fragoso is very polite. I'm gonna give it to him. It's great the way that he addresses these questions over and over again, and he points out, he is calling her out in a very polite way. I'm going to congratulations on being a decent podcaster. And you could say that Biden was on his feet, but it's like, okay, well, he was existing, all right. He was breathing, okay. It's that's okay. He was smiling. That is nice. That was a nice president to me. Yeah, he should run again.
Is not praise. He can speak in sentences. Is not praise.
All right. Fair enough.
Notice that he goes as far as to say things that she did not say. He can speak in sentences, is not praise. And she is kind of embarrassed. She keeps her fingers crossed, and she makes herself look smaller and not only lowering her head, but looking away and down. Yes, she's a bit embarrassed of having said that. And she realizes that I should drop the topic. I should stop defending Biden, because what is the point? And that's when she does this.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Look, the question is, what are we going to do now?
Okay.
What are we going to do now? And Fragoso says, okay, yeah, that's it. What are we going to do now? Yeah, and she does this long blink. She closes her eyes. It's like she's praying. Can we move on to the next topic, for God's sake? Yeah, she's asking. Yeah, what are we going to do about that? It's like she's conceding that Biden was not mentally fit to run for office a second time. But now she's saying, so what are you going to do about it? That's what I perceived. Maybe I was mistaken. She never said that I was mistaken. She did a very, very common way on layers and said, I said what I perceived at the time. I perceived and I had opinion upon my perceptions. All right? That is the way that you distance yourself, putting a layer in between reality and you. Okay, this is what I perceived. This is what I noticed. That's what I thought. All right? At the moment, that's what she said. But it was obviously not enough. But in this case, Senator Warren 0 and podcaster 1. But I would like to add something to this. What are the odds that at some point people are going to, really trust Senator Warren when she says, I don't know, something about another politician in the future? I'm pretty sure that we are going to come back to this interview and compare her reaction with herself and saying that, she conceded that she was wrong about Joe Biden, so she might be wrong in the future again. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. Remember to download my free 100 body language tips in the description of this video. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss.